you all just want to go around and introduce yourselves. We really just wanted to have you all talk about your experiences getting to, like, choosing to become a teacher or apply to a credential program, and what your experience has been like for some of you from community college all the way through to the credential. So I'm going to stop talking and let you all talk, and we can go in order. I'm going to go in order from who I see on my screen. So the first person I'm seeing on my screen right now is Manuela.
Hello, everyone. My name is Manuela Cruz. I am a senior at Cal Poly. I am a liberal studies major, and I want to be a teacher. I originally was going for nursing, and the first experience I had with teaching was taking a class, an education class, that allowed me to be in the classroom and help do my observation hours. And I went to a classroom, a kindergarten classroom in Santa Maria. And when I got there, there was a few students that spoke Mixteco, Spanish, and English, and it was just a variety of students. And so when I first got there, some students were talking about mentioning that another student didn't speak Spanish very well or English. And so I told them, I speak English, I speak Spanish, and I speak Mixteco. And I remember the excitement on those children's face. Like a lot of them were coming to me, like, I speak Mixteco too, I speak Mixteco. And so that made me really happy. And then I went back the next day to do a few hours of observation as well. And the students came back or came to me, and they were telling me, it's like, this is how you say this in Mixteco, this is how you say this in my Mixteco. And they were so excited and they were so happy. And I think that is when I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. And I can't wait to have my own classroom and have students and be able to tell them like how amazing it is to be able to speak English, Spanish, and Mixteco, and so many other languages.
Thank you, Manuela. Yeah, that is a really awesome experience and really inspiring. I'm sure a lot of students can relate to that, especially in like the field of bilingual education, right? Being a bilingual educator, you're able to connect with so many students in a culturally responsive way. So that's really amazing. Francisca, you're next on my screen.
My name is Francisca Camarillo, and I am a fourth-year liberal studies major transferring from Allen Hingle College. The reason why I want to become a teacher is because, and there's a lot of reasons. I work as a case manager currently and I work with a lot of Indigenous women that didn't have the opportunity to go to school. My mother, she never had an education. She was never able to go to school. And I think that has made a huge impact in me, because just seeing how much literacy is important for women to be successful in life and just getting their basic needs, and knowing how to write their address, knowing how to sign their names on documents. It's just really hard to see and to be part of that, because you just really want to tell them, like, I really wish that you could go back to school and learn to read and write, but it's just really hard because they work. And so they bring their children, and I see the little ones, and I say, okay, well, with the little child, I can work because I can teach them. There's still time. And so I think that literacy is just so important, especially because our world is kind of becoming more of a globalized economy. So I think that that's why I want to become an educator, because I see that the power that education has, especially on women. And so that's my goal, to go back to my community and just, empower women and, provide my knowledge and give it to my students so that they can have, a successful life and do what they love. And another reason why I am becoming an educator is because I love learning myself. And I love to foster, the learning inquiry in students, and just, having them question everything. How does this world work? How do plants, how do they grow? And how does our body work? Right now I'm doing a project on the lines of defense, again, in our community. Because of COVID, a lot of people don't understand how our body works, and all of the lines of defense and the immunology, the white blood cells, everything. So I'm creating right now, I'm writing a story on COVID and the vaccine and how that affects our immune system. And I'm also hoping that when I create that project, I'm going to make it into a video and hopefully make it into Mixteco as well, and offer that to people who can't read and write, because that is a necessity. So I don't know, just learning is amazing. And, you can go into philosophy, you can go into so many things. And I think that the world that we're going to start living in, there's more technology. Um, and so there's also robots that will be doing, human jobs. And so creativity and imagination is something that we do need in order to, because that's something that kind of, that's something that separates us from computers. So I think that's why I'm going into education, and that's why I want to become an educator.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all your experiences and your stories. Yeah, it's very admirable how much advocacy you're doing for the community. And it's especially from your experience, it's very apparent how much even just some education, like some literacy education, how that opens so many doors, even just in healthcare, in having that education of improved healthcare. It, just by knowing, even just a little bit can help improve women's health. And it sounds like that's an area that you've been working on. So yeah, personally, I appreciate the work you're doing, and I'm sure everyone here can agree. So thank you for sharing that. And then Anna Karen, you the last one.
Yeah, so my name is Anna Karen, and I am in the second quarter of my credential program. So I'm a student teacher, and just like both of my colleagues here who are doing amazing work, I too want to become a teacher, or I am becoming a teacher, because I too see a need in my community. I grew up here in SLO, and I was lucky enough to go to a dual immersion school where my Spanish language was celebrated. And in that though, I saw that there wasn't a lot of Latino educators. And I saw a lot of my classmates that were Latino, because we weren't that big of a population back in the day here in SLO. So I just felt like a lot of us were at a disadvantage, and our families too. There wasn't a lot of representation. Like I said, I was lucky enough to be in a bilingual school where my Latino family felt represented, but I know that there's a ton of other schools in this district that don't get that. And I've worked in them, and I know how valuable having a person that is able to relate to you culturally, relate to just your language, like it speaks volumes to them. And in that need, I felt inspired to help my community become a better place to be a Latino and or even just a person of color, and represent those people that are here. And I love working with children. Like it's my passion, and I love working with families, and in particular, I love working with parents. So that's why I want to be a teacher.
Yeah, thank you. It sounds like you've gone just full circle from being in a dual immersion yourself to now being the educator in a dual immersion. So that's really exciting. I'm excited for you to be finishing up your program soon and going out there and helping the community. Any questions from the audience?
Oh, I'm just really proud to have all represent Cal Poly and represent the future of teaching. So thank you.
And representing our community colleges too.
Quest to college, transfer.
Francisca, Did you say you went to Cuesta or Allen Hancock?
I went to Cuesta for one class.
And that's how you met Dr. Ronan?
Yes.
In that one class. That's awesome.
Yes.
And she was late.
but yeah, you were late. But you transferred from Allen Hancock. Okay. I'm glad you had that one class then.
Francisca, it'd be so cool if you shared your video and your book with us. I would love, love, love to have that. It's really, really a really valuable thing that you're making.
I'm actually gonna make a play, and it's during the medieval times, and it involves all of the characters, which is the foreign object is the virus, the white knights are the white cells with the antibodies, and the soldiers are the immune system. And then we have the queen representing the brain, which is white. I don't know why I said that. The queen representing the brain, because I needed a female main character. Yeah, so there's a lot of thought going into this, and I still have to use technology to create the video. So I'm learning how to do that.
I'm really excited to see what you come up with.
Would you all be willing to share some advice or suggestions for students who are in high school now or in community college, and things that they should think about as they are transitioning into college?
Yeah, I always tell, my sister is graduating high school this year, and I always tell her, explore what you want. Like, I feel like sometimes you feel forced to pick something, and in that you end up picking something that you're really not interested in. And a lot of people follow through with that, and then they realize that they hate what they chose. And I tell her, take your time. Like, you're 18, you have the world ahead of you, and really explore your classes and take something that you like. It's just interesting. Like, don't take something that you feel like you have to take. So volunteer. That's how I found out what I wanted to do. Like Manuela, I had a very similar experience that I volunteered in a classroom, and I was mesmerized by the act of teaching, of, you just follow, when you like something. So explore your everything and anything.
My tips would be always ask for help. I know I believe it was Salazar, our main speaker, he was saying ask for help. And I think that definitely resonates with me, because I'm a first generation student and I'm still always asking for help. I just recently met with Alma and I said, you know what, I don't know anything about applying for the credentialing program. Please help me. And also finding your little group, people that are the same major as you, and just having like a little group me or joining a club. Definitely staying involved when you do transfer, because they always know information that might be helpful, or you might want to create that like event that will help you. And then my third one would be find one person who is in your major and try to do everything with them. Manuela is that one person for we do everything together. We're the same major, and we're like sisters. We do everything together, and it's thanks to her that I was able to navigate Cal Poly successfully, I would say, because she has me, like, she's there for me, and whenever I need help, we just team up together and we talk about how we can solve it or who we can ask for help. So definitely find your people.
Might be that it's never too late. It is never too late, and nothing is impossible. I ended up in teaching because I was exploring a different path. I originally wanted to do agriculture and then switched to nursing and then went to teaching. And I am so happy to be in this path. I just can't wait to be a teacher. And another thing is like, I think that for me, it was really hard to ask for help at the beginning. And I thought that because, well, my parents are still farm workers. And when I was young, I thought that I would never be able to afford school, going to college or anything. But there's people everywhere that are willing to help you. And I think that the biggest thing is reaching out and getting that help, because they're all there for you. They're there for you. I have met amazing people in my community college at Cal Poly, and I can't stress enough how amazing they are and how like willing they are to help me and how they are there to help. And so that would be one of the things, like you have to reach out. If you don't, it's hard. And also, like Francisca said, once you find your community, once you find the people where that you can work together in this, like you have to make friends. You can study together. We do, now that we're online, we do Zoom studies, and we do everything that we can in order to be there for each other. And I think that's definitely those things, like just to find study buddies, reach out, and just know that it's never too late. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I graduated in 2006, and I am just now getting my bachelor's degree and going into a teaching credential.
I have another one too that I wrote and I forgot to mention. I think one of the biggest lessons I learned at Cuesta was finding the right counselor. I went through so many counselors because some of them would screw up my schedule, or they wouldn't know how to get me to a certain path. And I think I switched like 5 times before I found Kate Porter. And if she's still there, please go to Kate Porter. She is badass. She will get you where you need to go. And again, that counselor has to fit your personality too. So get you a good counselor, explore them. Don't make the same appointment with the same one all the time.
Awesome. Thank you all for those pieces of advice. We hope that will be helpful for people as they consider careers in education. And if you would like more information about Cal Poly School of Education, you can visit our website, soe.calpoly.edu. Thank you, everybody.